Pretty Little Liars, the TV show, sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And Brenton got a new monitor, so he keeps clicking things.
Well, that was the look of trying not to flinch when you just.
When I start?
I'm like she's just gonna like take off.
I look at you. I go like it's like a are you ready look.
And then you go, are you ready? And I do like the slightest I like start to tilt my head, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready. But we're all doing great, just like Spencer. Spencer is doing great. Thank you for asking.
I mean, like, honestly, I wouldn't even ask about her. Like, I've never seen her better.
Yeah, she's doing fine. I don't know, why would you think she wouldn't be doing fine?
Spencer Hastings has my favorite season 3 arc.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you said like she has an arc, I was like, oh, like she has an arc, but I'm like, oh no, yay, she has an arc.
Oh no, and in season 4 she has an arc too. And let me tell you, it's top tier.
Okay.
It's a good arc. I mean, good in Pretty Little Liars way, good in Riverdale, nothing's as good as the highs and lows of high school football kind of way. Yeah. This isn't,
like she's going overboard and we love it.
Yeah.
We talk about erratic Spencer, and there's been sad erratic Spencer, which we don't like. But this is the good type of erratic Spencer where she's like, I'm gonna fucking gouge someone's eyes out, and it's gonna be you, Mona. When she physically attacked Mona, I was so happy.
I was like watching you. I was like, he's gonna love this. He's gonna eat this up.
Right. It's so good. I love it. We love Spencer. Like, we want her to be out there viciously taking people down.
If you're gonna do something, attack Mona.
That's right.
And use Wren as your getaway driver. Honestly, that man should be good for something, because God knows he should be banned from any local high schools.
Worst doctor ever.
I mean, like, he's a doctor and he's hanging out in the high school parking lot. Like, he gives the vibes of the man who never left his hometown and didn't get a job.
But do you think the accent's fake then?
No.
He's actually from Rosewood?
No, I think that he...
That's what I'm saying, if he never left his hometown.
Oh, no. He's got the vibe of someone who never left their hometown.
That's what I'm saying. He's putting on an accent.
No. He just has the vibe. He's a posh British man. Or some type. I don't really know the different British accents.
He's posh.
He said with a lot of confidence, having been raised in Southern California.
Well, one thing I am confident in is that I wrote down the summaries. I'm not confident in, the clarity sometimes, but I'm ready to read them if you are.
I am ready to hear this.
Perfect. Episode 65, Season 3, Episode 18, Dead to Me. The friends are at the brew. Arias says Fitz hasn't said anything to her since he left. Hannah wonders if Wilden's...
Break up with the old man you're dating, Aria.
Yeah. We'll get more on that.
I used to love Ezria. Like, I was like really into it because I related a lot to Arya, and I was like, we love like an older guy. And then and now I'm rewatching it, and I'm like, what a fucking creep. And adults wrote this show.
But also, and also what a dud.
Yeah, he's not giving her anything. Go for the brother. We can get into that later though.
Yeah, we're Team Wes here. And much like Jacob versus Team Jacob and Team Edward, we know on Team Jacob that like the odds are just stacked against us. We'll get to that later. Hannah wonders if Wilden's read through the notebook, and they say he must know what they know now about the summer in Cape May. Spencer gets a text from PI Miles that he has info and wants to meet. That wasn't dramatic. I had to come. I was like catching. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, I have to cough. Jason walks in and tells the friends that they're releasing Allie's remains to the family, and they'll be reinterring her remains to the mausoleum. He arranged for the friends to be able to come and see her, as the family's only holding a family-only service. He also says that their items from the casket are still missing, and the police think the person is holding on to them like some sort of trophy. He says he'll follow up with them on the date and time later, and Spencer flips out saying, "Don't bother! Like, Allison was no saint, we're all gonna pretend, like, blah, blah, blah," and then, like, storms off, and Arias says the rest of them will be there. Aria and Hannah are at school. Hannah says they're the only two with items from the casket, so we should totally ditch them. Aria's like, I'm worried that if we do that, it'll bite us in the ass again. And she says, I'm going to go to Fitz after school, and we can talk about this later. Mona approaches Spencer as Spencer glares at her. She reminds her of the upcoming academic decathlon, gives her a folder. Spencer shoves it in her locker. Mona then touches her on the shoulder. Big no-no. And says it's my duty as like the team captain to tell you that you're off your A game. Spencer says it's not a game, Mona. And Mona says, oh good, I'd hate to see Toby travel all that way for you only to be left cheering for me. Lots to read in that little subtext of that exchange. Hannah sees Caleb texting alone in the classroom. He's like, oh, I was just texting my mom, and it was kind of weird. My aunt moved to Australia, and this was the aunt that Caleb was living with before foster care. They're moving out all her own old stuff and are tearing down the house. And his mom, it's a single-use house. And his mom said,
you know what I say is like, if you don't live in a nice area, as soon as you move out, they tear down the house.
Tear it down.
We rebuild.
This could only be used for one person. Yeah, I didn't get that either. And his mom said he can, it's just dirty if someone else moves in. And his mom said he can come see it before they tear it down. He's like, no way, and storms off before Hannah can like comfort him.
Every time I'm writing and I think maybe I'm making a plot hole, I think about the fact that like this show it had amazing ratings. I was tuning in every week for this shit.
They're just laying down. Well, I mean, I get it. They're just constantly laying down track. Like, that's all it is. It's just more plot.
They're playing Hot Wheels, but they don't ever have to circle back around.
Yeah, there's no downtime in the show ever. Arias sits in Fitz's apartment alone and hears the door. She opens it up to find Wes trying to unlock it. Wes is surprised she's there because he was expecting it to be empty. Fitz said he could stay there while Fitz was gone and called Wes on his way to Delaware. Arias said him finding out about his son was messy. Wes says he can go, but Aria's like, no, please stay. She grabs her things and goes to leave. Wes sees that her head was imprinted on the pillow on the bed, and he invites her to come back in and like, hey, well, you can come by like and check on the plants. I'm horrible at that. Spencer meets with the PI, Miles, and Toby apparently bought a ton of hydrangeas and left town and switched to cash 3 days ago, so he can't track his card transactions anymore. He looked into the key and says for him to nail down the door it came from, he'll need more money. Spencer says, I wonder if it's worth it to pay you. Miles says, I've tracked a lot of lowlifes and none of them bought flowers before leaving town. Something to think about. Let me know about this later. Emily visits her mom at the police station to see her for a break. Emily sees that the Cape May photo is gone off the board. Pam then says she's going to clock out and we can go to dinner. Pam pulls a postcard out of her purse and wonders where it came from. Emily grabs it from her, saying it's hers, and turns it over to see that there's red writing on the back in French with all the A's capitalized. Emily talks to Spencer about Wilden taking the photo down. She asks about Spencer's breakup and is like, I didn't tell anybody else about you breaking up with Toby. Spencer looks at the postcard and Emily says that she left this in Allie's casket along with 24 others. Emily says A is threatening to go after her. And Spencer's like, wait, like, do you know what it actually says? And Emily's like, yeah, like, so she's going to come kill me. Spencer's like, no, it says, stop digging. The police already know it's you who's capable of murder. It says, Emily did nothing wrong. The freak was going to kill you and Paige. Emily goes to leave and sees a Toby and Spencer framed photo, and Spencer grabs it from her. Emily says, I don't know what happened, but like, we're all here for you. She tells her that Hannah saw Paige out with another girl and like assumed the worst, but Paige was actually just investigating the Queen of Hearts costume, and the girl she was with worked at the costume shop. They didn't find out who bought it, but Emily says sometimes things seem worse than they are. We don't follow up on this. Ominous. Spencer says, it's extremely sus. Spencer says, what if the explanation is actually worse? Hannah and Aria talk about Wes before Hannah goes to leave. Hannah got Caleb to go visit his aunt's house and asked Aria for the earrings from her to like get rid of it along with the Ouija board. Aria says, I'm not ready to do that, and doesn't give her the earrings, and is like, if I'm making a mistake, then that's on me. Emily visits Dr. Sullivan, who's in a new office. Emily says Mona's back and she needs to I need to talk things through. You may have heard I killed a guy. Dr. Sullivan says self-defense. Emily says, everyone tells me I'm a hero, but like I like snuffed out someone's life. I know what he was going to do, but like I closed my eyes.
Use the word Snuffed?
No, but she uses a different word of like, this was a living, breathing person, and I took their life from him. And
I was just like,
yeah, a little paraphrasing.
I liked the word choice. Sorry, I was just like, Emily.
Yep, like a candle. But I close my eyes and feel what happened when I stabbed him. Dr. Sullivan asks if she's tried hypnotherapy and it could help her reframe her memories and the way like we see ourselves. Emily asks how soon she can start. Spencer sits alone in her bed. She looks at a photo of her and Toby and love notes from him. She grabs her phone and asks how much the cost is for looking into the key, and tells him to keep looking. Caleb and Hannah visit his aunt's house. They're being shown around by, so they first call him Doyle, but then, is it Jack? So I have Doyle. Jamie, thank you.
They call him Doyle?
They call him Doyle off the bat.
Really?
Yeah. He's like Jamie Doyle. And then Hannah starts calling him like Doyle at first. So I had written down Doyle and then they switched to Jamie later.
Oh, well, that's his first and last name. They didn't. This isn't like Kirk and Gilmore Girls where for the first season. I was like,
not to misrepresent what is actually happening here. It was just by notes.
Okay.
And this is Caleb's uncle. You've
seen Arrested Development.
Caleb is in a bad mood. Caleb talks to Hannah and tells her that he hasn't seen his uncle since he was little, but his uncle would take him to some Philly games. Hannah's like, that must have been nice. And Caleb says, he just feels guilty that his brother ran out on me. Jason stops Spencer downtown and says the friends are all going to see Allie at 7 tonight. Spencer brushes him off and he's like, okay, what's gotten into you? And Spencer's like, don't push me. Like they go back and forth and argue. And she's like, if we continue this argument, I will win. Caleb and Hannah keep digging in the items. And Caleb mostly pushes off holding on to anything. Jamie talks to Hannah one-on-one and asks if Caleb's treating her right. And Hannah says yes. She asks if Jamie hears from Caleb's dad at all. And he's like, no one does. He knew Caleb's mom and says she deserved better. Hannah asks if they loved each other, and Jamie says, I think so. Hannah wonders why he left then, and Jamie says, I think he needed some space, but the people, like, you leave, like, keep on living and don't wait for you to come back. Emily is getting hypnotherapy. Dr. Sullivan asks her to tell her everything that happened the night of the lighthouse. Wes types on Fitz's typewriter as Aria enters. He hasn't heard anything from Fitz, but it doesn't mean he's not thinking about Aria. Aria says, what does it mean? Well, what does it mean then? They hear his house phone ring, and Wes looks upset. Aria's like, well, you can go answer. It could be, like, Fitz. Wes picks it up, but only hears a dial tone and is like, oh, it was a wrong number. He's like, let's go get food. I need some air. Back at hypnotherapy. Emily walks through a backyard in her mind, and we see that it's Allie's yard. She sees Allison, and she looks at Emily, and she says she knows she's going to die. Emily freaks out, but Dr. Sullivan tells her to keep going. Emily sees herself with the shovel that killed Allison as Allison cries. Allison falls back into the open dirt where the gazebo is going to be built. And Emily attacks her with the shovel. Emily then wakes up and asks what happened. And Dr. Sullivan's like, you broke out of the hypnosis. And is like, what happened when you're in there? And Emily gets up and leaves. Caleb goes to put his stuff in the car and says goodbye to his uncle. Hannah thanks JV, and Jamie invites them to food, but Hannah's like, Caleb wants to get going. Jamie stops her to give her a photo of baby Caleb, and he asks her to hold on to it for Caleb and give it to him when he'd feel ready for it. Caleb calls out to Hannah to leave, and Jamie says, make sure he takes care of you. Emily calls Hannah, but gets her voicemail. Emily digs in her purse and looks at the postcard. She looks at the Eiffel Tower and has a flashback. She's with Allison after school while she studies, and Allison looks at these postcards. Emily asks if she's planning a trip, and Allie says, wouldn't that be nice, you and me in Paris? She's like, describes this nice trip of them going across France together. Emily asks how long Allison is going to be away for, and Allison says, how about forever? Back in the present, Pam enters Emily's room and walks over to Emily to see what's wrong. Emily says, don't look at me like I'm so innocent. Pam says, I know you wouldn't hurt anyone. I'm your mother. I can see all of you, and there's only good there. And Emily cries and embraces her.
It makes me think, sorry, of just very Arrested Development of when Buster loses his hand. Like,
I'm a Buster.
That's like exactly what that's. I was like, it was played. I mean, the series version of the same vibe.
It would be like if, Emily's going around instead. Anybody need a knife?
Yeah.
Miles hands the key to Spencer. It's to a unit in a small building on Mayflower Hill. He asks what Spencer thinks is behind the door, and she's like, I don't know. Miles like, what do you hope is behind the door? And she's like, well, we had like a secret that we kept together, and this will let me know if he kept it. She says, if I open the door and it's full of things I hope there is, then he loves me, and I wasn't wrong about us. But if not, and then Miles finishes the sentence like, well, if not, it's time to let him go.
I take all my relationship coaching from PAs.
Miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Miles is very...
He's like $500 and I'll give you a therapy session by the dumpster.
Right. So we're doing a lot of investigating, but, where does that compulsion lie for you?
What drives you to want to know?
Wes and Aria are out on the town. A man stops Wes and says, your mom fixed the board, but he's going to buy me off, and threatens Wes. Wes then hits him first, and Wes and Aria run off. Aria asks who that was, and Wes says, that was my physics teacher's husband. Back at Fitz's apartment, Aria asks what's going on, and Wes says, Fitz is right. We can't outrun family. I used to think like I actually liked my home, but then I realized that I was mad at Fitz for like going off and like being able to escape them. So I tried to get thrown out of prep school with bad grades, but like my mom just bought everybody off. Wes then went to do something really stupid and hit on his physics teacher, and all he got was put on was academic probation and an angry spouse. He says, my mom hates you because Fitz found someone he liked, and you were unexpected. Caleb is upset about the day, and Hannah says his uncle was nice, and Caleb's like, well, they all seem nice. Hannah makes Caleb promise not to get angry and shows him the baby photo. Caleb looks at it and wonders where Jamie got it, or where Hannah got it. Hannah says Jamie, and then Hannah's like, well, you see like how the edges are bent like this? It looks like it came from like a wallet, like would have been carrying it around. And if you see there in the picture in the hand that's holding you, like it's the same ring as that Jamie had on his hand. Caleb's like, not a chance. He can't be. Dr. Sullivan locks up, and Mona is waiting for her in the waiting room and hands her an orchid to let her know she's better now. Dr. Sullivan's like, that's so thoughtful. And Mona's like, it's nothing. I could never repay you for what you did. Spencer walks through an apartment building and finds the A unit. She opens it up to find the old A lair torn down, and all you can see kind of like remnants of pictures that were taped up on the wall removed. And she gasps and cries. Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Jason are at the mausoleum. Hannah asks if they should wait, and Jason's like, I'm pretty sure she's not coming. Aria then reads the Emily Dickinson quote on Allison's tomb, and Hannah's like, that's like super weird. And Aria's like, that's Emily Dickinson. Spencer comes in and tells Jason Allison was pregnant when she died, much to everybody like trying to be like, don't tell anybody, don't tell him, come on, stop it. Jason is shocked, and Spencer's like, want to know who the father is? And then the friends all yell at her some more. And Spencer says, Detective Wilden. Jason then leaves, and the friends are all mad at her, saying she can't just come in and try and hurt Jason. The three friends wonder what's wrong with Spencer. Emily says it's bad, like when you can like doubt the person that you love, but it's the worst when you start to doubt yourself. Some reflection from Emily. She hears the sprinklers in the graveyard and has
field.
I was just gonna say funeral, and has a flashback to the night of the Allie's, like when Allie's grave was dug up. In the flashback, Emily yells at a person that we shouldn't be doing this. And then the person in the hood jumps into Allison's open grave and starts to open up her coffin with a crowbar. Emily then sees a girl in a red coat run off. In the present, Hannah asks if this was when Jenna and Noel picked up Emily. And Emily said, or before they picked up this was when Jenna and Noel picked up Emily. Emily says, this may be before that. I don't know. Hannah asks if is it weird to ask if the red coat was Allison? Emily says, I don't know, but the red coat was a woman and was in charge. Spencer then walks up to Toby's mom's gravestone and writes into it with a key, like scratches into it, Toby's name.
With the key.
With the A key. We then see at a liquor store, a man gives someone in a hoodie a bottle of whiskey and then checks their ID from their wallet. The end.
Okay. Why doesn't Spencer want to say goodbye to Allie? Is she just pissed?
Yeah. She's just like, fuck this. This is all because of you. I think she's putting a lot of blame on Allison for like the entire predicament they're in. And it's just like, it's all your fault. Which I mean, kind of fine. I think Spencer is realizing how horrible their friend was and hasn't gone through to the other side of like where she is comfortable again with the feelings of like, well, okay, we did have good times as a friend. Right now, she's just in like, you made our lives hell, and now our lives are hell because of you. Knock-on effect. And, you know, this is the same person that was like, you know, it's really our fault for getting bullied and tortured by A.
Yes.
So she's going through it.
She's going through it. Do you think Jason put something in the casket with Allie?
Yes, definitely.
What do you think he put?
I don't know. Beer bottle or something. Right. I wonder if it was something. It must have been something personal between the two of them. Well, I mean, because everybody says. That it was.
I just found a random newspaper.
Maybe something to do with like NAT Club or something. Throwing it away, or if it does come back around, it maybe be Kate May. But
like a flash drive or something.
Just something more like sentimental that you would have to like know what it is, much like everybody else's, which is like postcards. It's like, why would anybody else care about postcards?
The earrings.
You have to actually know what is like related there. Could be like a postcard from like Kate May or something, or a keychain.
Also, like, how weird is it of Aria to have put the earrings that were found from her dad having an affair?
Yeah.
I never processed that.
I didn't either.
What about this fun memory we had? You know what? It's a vibe.
It just it goes to the grave.
It's all things they wanted to bury. You know?
Right. Emily's sexuality.
Hannah seeing her and like feeling guilty about that. Aria and that whole thing. What did Spencer put in there, do you think?
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know what Spencer put in there. Bad grade.
Oh my god.
A C report card. Or it would be it could be the I think the best guess that we can have right now is the votes for student council. That like Allison had rigged for.
What were Paige and Shauna actually talking about? Do we believe Emily's like, I believe Paige that she was talking to Shauna and sleuthing?
Oh, I do believe that, but I do think also that there's more to it. I'm still on the thing of like that they've known each other before, to like previous relationship or something like that. Like you don't just like, I don't know if I guess Paige could just be sleuthing and like inviting her out. I mean, I guess that's what PIs do. It's like, let's go buy you a drink.
Yep. That's why I never accept drinks.
Right, but I would
hate to spill your secrets, honey.
That's right. Yeah, we keep those within here.
Yep. Close to the chest.
Exactly. Within these walls. But I would think that it's there's a little bit more of like a past history, a relationship between the two of them. As we saw in the Pretty Dirty Secrets, when I was looking at Ant, instead of noticing that Paige was on the list of numbers.
I mean, Ant was really funny to me because like Ant doesn't have a name.
No, just Ant.
I have so many ants that would not work. Will Spencer tell the girls about Toby being A?
Foghorn. I have a feeling they're gonna find out that Toby's A, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, Spencer?" She's like, "Ah."
I can't wait to watch that episode.
It's the one where they it's a crossover with the Mummy.
I was gonna say, do they get drunk and become boys in college? Because that's what y'all sounded like when you argued.
Fair enough. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
But they're gonna find out, and Spencer's gonna like yell at them, and they're gonna be pissed at Spencer.
Okay, let's visit Caleb for a bit. How did so many adults fail child Caleb?
So many adults failed child Caleb.
more importantly,
he has such a tragic story.
Yeah, and he lets his mom back into his life, but everyone else doesn't get a pass. I mean, who am I to judge? I don't know.
Well, his mom reached out to him
and left him at the aunt's house.
That's fair. But wait, so doesn't Hannah also encourages him to reach back out to his mom?
Yeah. I think she reaches out, and then because
it's the PI.
Yeah, the whole he's being
the
tailed.
Other PI. Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like, it's my mom, and then it's just like, you're gonna go away forever. Oh wait, you're back next episode.
Oh, you didn't move to Montecito forever?
Right.
It's a really cute beach there.
But I can see. But his dad's not even coming to him as his dad. It's like, I'm your uncle. And then, like, that would be a weird thing also to discover that your uncle was actually your dad, pretending not to be your dad.
Also, so then in his childhood, like in the years he was with his aunt when he was like 5 or whatever, was his uncle, does he not have an Uncle Jamie and that's actually his dad? Or do you think he also has an Uncle Jamie who just wasn't there?
No, because he talks, I think even Jamie talks about it. It's just like, I think he talks later. It's just like, yeah, I'd bring him to the game, but he just remembers me getting arrested. He makes some, I feel like there's some reference from Jamie talking about like bringing him somewhere and like getting arrested or something like that.
Got it.
So yeah. And then the aunt also just being like, well, that's just your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All the way down. And so Caleb has very earned skepticism when he's like, they all act this way.
Yeah.
Don't be drawn in. Don't believe their lies.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a tattoo of it.
Also, when he's there, why is Caleb cleaning? Shouldn't he just be picking out what he wants and then leaving? Why is he putting things in trash bags for them? I never understood that. I was like, sir, take what you want and go.
Just go. Just leave it. It's all going to get buried anyway. In the rubble of tearing down the home.
It's a weird plot point. Okay. Why? Let's talk about Wes. I mean, we can talk. Actually, maybe I'll save our Wes talk for the next episode.
Okay.
Because I think it's easier to just talk about Wes at once.
Fair enough.
Emily's hypnotherapy. It's a plot line.
Yeah. And that it resolves that Emily. Is it next episode that it resolves? Because I thought it was in this one.
It's in this one at the end when she hears the sprinkler and she goes, "Oh, I was mixing up the memories."
Right, I just didn't write down on my notes. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Sullivan really not leading her right on the right path.
Yeah.
I don't think Dr. Sullivan's a licensed hypnotherapist because she brought her to the exact wrong place. She's like, "Tell me everything that happened that night."
Yeah, didn't give her any specifics. No. They didn't. I don't know. It's very strange.
I mean, it's, she got lucky that like Emily was so focused on something. Well, Emily instead has a false memory. So like Dr. Sullivan's, tell me what happened on that night. Oh, the night that you were making up this thing in your head where you feel extremely guilty because you feel like you killed your friend.
It's like, it's
or that you could have had the ability to kill your friend.
Yeah. It's an intrusive thought given some legs. Like it's really a strange choice, I guess, in the show to present any form of therapy in that way, but also interesting.
Right. I know. And it's just so askew because it's not even that Emily goes back to killing what's his face? Lyndon James. It's that she goes to kill Allison, which I do think is a good way of showing that she's not sad about killing him. She's sad about that she would potentially have to she would have the potential to hurt people close to her.
Having killed someone. Like that she could kill someone.
Like her, like that she would have the capacity to kill her friend, which I think is effective. And boy, I put Emily, I rightfully get upset and annoyed about how they depict Emily in these episodes. But I think in times like this where Emily is just going through it of like, I feel horrible about myself. It's like, damn, Emily and I are the same.
Maybe we don't like what we see because we feel it.
But there's broader things that is just like, oh, really? They're making Emily do this?
Every time.
But Yeah, and then it's always funny at the end when she's like, yeah, when you start to doubt yourself, it's like, Emily has come through the other side and understands.
We've already got third act.
Well, until the next time someone comes to town and tries to kill her.
True. One more thing about Emily for Pam. Pam gives a beautiful speech about how she's her mother and she can see all of her. And it is the most out-of-pocket thing I've ever seen on this show, because this woman did not know her daughter was a lesbian. This woman did not know that her daughter was being stalked and literally bullied and tortured. She doesn't know that her daughter was locked in a garage and then pulled out by who knows. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, Pam, babe, you literally don't know anything about her. Her best guy friend, you know, the one you were kind of afraid of, but now you're okay with, Toby, he's A.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know A's back.
No.
Pam, what do you see?
Right. And she doesn't know anything about her daughter.
No.
Like,
she's like, do you don't want to look at this box of letters you sent to your friend? Come sit downstairs with us.
Yes. And it's just like, ignore all that. You should be with your family right now. And the person I see is this image I project onto you. And it's great, Emily.
You're so beautiful. Yeah, I loved that scene because I was like, oh my God, Pam.
No.
Pam.
Worst
mother. I mean, yeah, on the show. Spencer's mom is what she is. You know what I mean? She's not involved. But she will get her daughter out of jail.
That is true.
And that's important.
Yeah. The whole locking Emily in and stuff, too. I guess Veronica is more guilty by association and not doing anything. It's like, well, I didn't stop your father. And she's like, what? Oh yeah, that affair thing.
I knew about Jason. Look at him.
Spencer, we're in a loveless marriage. It's okay. I'm a career woman. And like, well, like Garrett's mom is paying well. She was doing it pro bono.
Yeah, I think she's doing it pro bono.
She's just also doing the protect the family thing. Pam is just never, at least Veronica's trying to protect her daughter in a weird way. It's not right.
Yeah, Pam's trying to protect an image.
Yeah, and exactly.
And you see Spencer's mom occasionally be like she comforts Spencer. Like, it's very much like, okay, like I want to make sure my daughters are okay.
Right.
And you're like,
also, Pam, you've seen how the police have treated your daughter and her friends. You're gonna go work for them?
Right?
No.
Pam, your choice of employment is questionable.
Couldn't be me.
Okay. Let's talk about Spencer again.
Our favorite subject.
This is a really Spencer heavy section of the show. In future Spencer heavy sections, we also were heavy in other people's departments. This one feels very much more Spencer, though.
Yeah, this is all Spencer. When Spencer's not on screen, everybody should be asking, what's wrong with Spencer?
Why is this PI giving good love advice?
I love it.
And how many
He's the love PI.
Does a hydrangea have?
Oh, yeah. There's that whole, I didn't write it in my notes, but there's this whole section about that Spencer would like rig the he loves me not.
It's not rigging it. You just always want to make sure you pick one that has an odd number so that you always get the he loves me.
Yeah, and I
used to do that as a kid.
Oh, there you go. But I mean,
didn't everyone?
And I want an outcome. No. Just picking up daisies off the ground. I was like, oh, shit. I was putting it to the universe.
You can't trust the universe with shit like that.
Going back into Arrested Development, you're George Michael digging through all the candy hearts until he finds one that he likes.
That's me.
That's right. That she's was looking at specific petals. I have no idea how many.
How many petals?
But yeah, this PI has a very gentle touch. And he's very empathetic. Tell me about your do you really think this is going to end up I deal with a lot of low lives, but the love of your life here, is he really that bad? It's like, sir, you don't know what this operation has been doing to me.
I don't know how to know.
I don't know either. It wouldn't just say in a Google search.
It did, but then it didn't. when I clicked on the article, then it didn't have it.
But
there's 5 petals on each of the little flowers.
Oh, so I mean, it's odd.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you always want to do the odd numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very odd. Also, and then
it's just very funny, the sensitive PI.
Let's talk
That's
about.
what I'm gonna create an entire new noir, and it's gonna be with the sensitive PI.
No.
Yeah, he's hard boiled, but when he's talking to like, like he's talking to the.
You're just rewriting Veronica Mars, honey.
No.
Keith.
But he's talking to the femme fatale.
Oh.
And it's just like, why don't you sit down? We'll talk about your problems.
Fair. Okay. Spencer goes into the old lair. 1, they didn't clean up good. They intentionally left evidence that they had been there.
Oh, yeah.
Because they did not clean up those walls good. They were pieces, and it was obvious that they were of the girls.
They were not, I doubt they put down a security deposit, but they're not worried about getting it back, I guess.
But Spencer, what do you think she expected to see in there instead? I don't know what their inside joke was.
Hydrangeas?
Those are the flowers he put on his mom's.
Right. Grave. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what she was expecting to see either. Just like him, like standing, like some sort of like communication that like keep digging or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just nothing.
So then
he was right of being like, well, you're just gonna have to let him go.
So
and she's like, how about I get fucking angry instead?
So she takes that energy and she turns on and goes, fuck Jason. He's my brother and I will fuck with him, and I feel like that's valid.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just going to yell. Well, I'm just going to yell at everybody in my vicinity. I'm alone and I'm darkness.
But she intentionally goes there.
Oh, right. To the, yeah.
Yeah, she goes there. She finds them.
Right.
Does Spencer have a plan? Is Spencer just full chaos mode?
I think full chaos mode. I think Aria's right. It's just like, you're just here to try and hurt people. And while I think in Spencer's mind, she's like, I'm getting people out of the truth. They need to know. And like, we need to chase after these people. And, maybe Jason does need to know, but also you don't know that Wilden's the dad. This is like just Spencer, of course, being like, I have the first piece of evidence, so we're chasing after it. Mm-hmm. Classic Spencer. But I think the subtext to it is just like, yeah, I want people to be angry too. And like all her feelings about Allison and like misplaced anger on that is just like Jason.
And is her writing Toby's name on that her saying Toby's dead to her?
Yeah, that's what I took that as.
Metaphor.
That like here lies Toby.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
On its mother's grave.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's really. I was like, Jesus,
it's so bad. It's one of the most out of pocket Spencer scenes. I feel like.
Yeah,
I forgot it happened, and I was like, oh God.
You're carving into marble.
Yeah, I don't think that key would work. I don't know,
but that's intense.
I don't commit vandalism.
No, not on the dead.
Not over men.
Oh yeah.
Or boys. Okay, last but not least, who's in the red coat?
When we were watching it, I immediately shouted, Jenna. It was Jenna's
in the coat or in the hole digging?
In the coat.
Okay.
Because if I really thought about it, like in terms of how my theory was going, I would say it wasn't Jenna unless the schism between the two groups happened like after the body went up. And like the two groups were working together before then, that could work. But just by build alone, I was like, that's Jenna. But I mean, that could also be just small. It could be like Mona as well, and even Allison. Mm-hmm. But I immediately jumped to like, it's the red herring.
I love it. And then also, do you still have any hope for Toby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
have all kinds of hope for Toby. It's going to turn back around. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be vindicated that this boy is deep undercover.
He's under the covers, but with who?
Nobody. Mona's just trying to get in her head. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any canoodling happening.
Okay, Grandpa.
Well, I was gonna say, what was it? Nookie was the first one that came to mind. Let me pop a word it's on the break. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Okay. Are you ready for the next episode?
Hell yeah. Episode 66, Season 3, Episode 19, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. The three friends talk about how Spencer isn't at school. Hannah says if she was here, people would be running for cover. Emily says she'll go give her cupcakes like after school, and Hannah says she needs to process the pain, not eat junk food. Aria tells Hannah that glass houses shouldn't throw stones, but maybe like when Emily goes over there, she should also give Spencer like a riddle. She needs to use that part of her brain. It's really good. Emily sees Spencer arguing with Andrew across the way. He says Spencer not showing up means that she isn't putting the team first. He's like, they all voted and she's off the team. Spencer goes to Mona and says, anything else you want to take away from me? And storms off. Emily follows her and says, Mona can't get away from that. Like, can't get away from this. I'll come over after work and help and we'll figure this out. Spencer says, I can't do this here, and grabs her sunglasses from the locker as she's like tearing up. She sees a note scratched into the glasses that says, you rat out T, I take down one of your three, signed A. You rat. At the brew, Hannah looks up where Caleb's dad works, and Aria tells her to drop it. Hannah's like, this is different from the Fitz situation. Aria's like, you should just, like, you take it from me. Just, like, stop doing this. Aria gets a call from Fitz's mom and is, like, super concerned. It's like, we're not friends. And she asks over the phone if Wes is hiding at Fitz's apartment. Aria's like, no, he's not there. Emily sees Ceces come in, and Emily stops her and asks her if she can talk to her later. And Cece's like, well, I have like stuff to do tonight. Emily asks if she knows Wilden, that he was in Cape May that summer and like could be the beach hottie. Cece dismisses this and is like, we can talk like later after like I have like job stuff to do, so like just like I can't right now. Spencer juices vegetables at home when she sees Andrew come by to visit. She's just kind of
like shoving vegetables in the blender full, like tops and all.
Yeah. Just all
I don't think you juice the green of the carrot.
And Andrew comes by to visit. He says, I know how valuable you are to the team, but the war between Mona and Spencer is distracting from like us winning. Andrew, though, is here to review history with her because he's going to be taking her spot at the upcoming meet. Spencer's like, okay, well, I'll help you. We'll have a little competition. If I win, you'll let me back on the team. It'll be a decathlon, but it'll also be strip. For every question we each get wrong, we take off an article of clothing.
Scandalous. ABC Family.
I know. Hannah drives up to find Jamie at a work site. He asks what she's doing here, and she asks if he's Caleb's dad. He asks if Caleb knows, and Hannah's like he was dismissive of the idea. Jamie says, I have a list of reasons why I can't be with Caleb, including a police rap sheet for petty theft. Hannah says he wants you in his life and will meet you halfway.
It's cool. My friend Emily killed someone.
Right. That's the least of his worries. He was like caught up in this whole thing before, like when we were first.
He was shot.
Uh-huh. How soon I forget. Andrew and Spencer continue their competition, and Andrew has lost more clothes, but they go back and forth. And then there's a knock at the door from Emily, and Andrew freaks out, and it's like, that's Emily Fields. Grabs his things and runs out. But Spencer says, relax, you're not her type. Andrew runs off, and Emily's like, what were you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Spencer's like, just trying to get my spot back, and my intellect wasn't enough. Emily's like, you're just jumping on the next guy to like get back at Toby. And if you and Toby don't tell me what's going on, and Spencer like jumps on that and stops her, says, don't talk to him, and I can't tell you what's going on. Spencer says, we're not just going to sit here and let you push us away. Spencer says, let me... Spencer's like, well, this is just the new me. Wes is panic packing at Fizz's house and says, my mom found me this morning. Aria wonders why she would call her, and Spencer's like, a trap to test you. Like to prove either you're a liar or like if you did tell the truth and like relay back to Fitz. Wes says he's officially out of prep school and doesn't know where he'll finish off school. Aria says, well, you can stay here. And Wes says, I'm going to stay with a buddy in Philly. I haven't heard from Fitz in a while. And Aria's like, well, I did. And he's like, was at his son's soccer game with Maggie. Aria gets a call from Ceces asking her to step in and be a photographer since the guy she hired was going to take pictures with his phone. Aria asks if she can bring her assistant.
Yeah, and unlike now, phones then didn't have good picture quality.
No, definitely not.
Not that you would do that anyway now, but like...
No, but it would work a little better.
For a website.
Mm-hmm.
You could take her out.
Right. And Caleb yells at Hannah about his dad and doesn't want to meet him. He says, maybe I'm not ready, and like, stop poking around in my life. Hannah says, I'm doing this for your own good. Caleb says, I don't want to meet him. He had plenty of chances to meet me, but he didn't, and storms out. Ashley comes in and asks what he was angry about, and Hannah's like, his dad. Emily visits Jason at school, and Emily wants to talk about Spencer, and Jason says, don't pretend that the news about Allie was anything new to the rest of you. Emily says, Ceces told us about it, and I saw a picture of Wilden in Cape May that summer. Jason was wondering if there was a boat in that picture, as Allie had made a photo collage that would included a photo of her on a boat. Jason says, I already called Wilden and left a message about this. Emily asked to see the photo of Allison. Spencer stares creepily as Melissa makes them dinner. Wren knocks at the back door, and Melissa opens and is just like, why are you here? And Wren is super surprised and anxious about her being there. Melissa's just like, I'm going to go out back with my food. And Wren tells Spencer that he got a call from someone who's concerned about her. Spencer makes guesses about her friends, but it's none of them. And Spencer realizes Mona made the call. And Wren says if someone had intervened on Mona's behalf, she wouldn't have ended up in Radley. Spencer's is so thoughtful of her. Maybe we should go to a dinner and a movie. Wren is confused by this, and Spencer's like, it's not a date, it's a mental health outing. Let's go to this film festival in Bucknell. Hannah calls Jamie, but gets a voicemail and goes to cancel plans, but instead says, okay, see you soon. Caleb walks in, wearing a nice shirt and his hair combed back, because his mom got him all dressed up and nice for this nice dinner date. And he says, I need you to be there with me as I do this to go meet my father. Caleb and Hannah wait at the brew, and Hannah asks if she could should call Jamie again, and Caleb says no. Caleb's like, he couldn't even be there for me as an uncle. And recalls a story when he left Caleb at a babysitter's all night, and then the babysitters even had to call the police to try and find him. Hannah says, let's wait 5 more minutes. Arias sets up the photo shoot at Ceces, the store Ceces works at, and Ceces sends Wes down to the basement to get some items for decoration. Ceces offers a wine to Aria, who declines. Ceces talks about Wes being cute and asks how Aria's doing with Fitz. Aria's like, okay, and then Ceces hints at her trying to just be with the brother as Wes comes back in awkwardly. Jamie comes back into the brew as Hannah and Caleb were going to leave. He walks over to Caleb and asks him to stick around, and Hannah comes back over with coffee and cake. Jason and Emily arrive at Jason's house, and they see whiskey bottles, similar to the end of last week's episode, all over Jason's porch, and we also see someone watching them from up in a tree. Emily goes to grab a trash can when she gets a text from A that says, better tell him to save a couple, he might need it. Spencer and Wren are driving, and he wonders if they're on the right path, and Spencer's like, oh yeah, it's just a ways down. Aria and Wes continue the photo setup and wonder where Ceces is gone. It's been a long time. She went to get food. Wes goes to move a light and accidentally knocks over a bottle of wine on the white rug. They hurry to clean it up. Jason and Emily visit his dad's old penthouse, and Jason says the photo is in one of these boxes. It was this collage she had made that she had made for our dad, as a way of saying I'm sorry. Emily asks who would do something like that with the bottles, and Jason says Allison, but she's not visiting from beyond the grave. Emily says, I know you and Mona, this is something she would do, and I know you're friends. Jason's like, she's not a friend, she's a link. I'm pretty sure she knows who dug up Allison's grave, and she hasn't told me yet, but I'm getting warmer. Hannah comes home and tells Ashley, Caleb and Jamie are getting along great. She also suggests that Pastor Ted could use Jamie to fix the bell tower. Ashley asks if Caleb or Hannah wants this, and Hannah's like, well, it is about Caleb. Just go forward. Emily and Jason find the photo collage. Emily wonders why she would give it to their dad. Oh, yeah, and Jason says his apology. They find the photo and see that Wilden is with her on the boat when they unfold it. And they unfold the other side of the picture, and there's also Ceces. Emily wonders why Ceces would lie about knowing him. And Jason says maybe Ceces was protecting herself as she had something going on with him, and maybe She was going to see him the night Allison disappeared. Flashback. Jason stumbles out the door and finds an empty cup and instead starts to drink water from the hose. He sees Melissa talking to someone who looks like Allison. He yells over at Allison and sees it's Ceces. He closes his eyes and they're both gone. And then he goes like, man, I'm too fucked up, and goes to lie down on a chase lounge. In the present, Emily asks why he didn't tell police about this, and Jason's like, I didn't trust what I saw, and if they knew I was awake that night, I would have been a suspect. Move the camera down just a little bit. Perfect. Wren and Spencer arrive at an inn. Wren goes in to get them a table, and Spencer sneaks off. She finds the academic decathlon, and Andrew walks over to ask what she's doing here. Spencer's like, oh, like, I didn't recognize you in clothes. She says, don't worry about this. Like, this isn't about you. Spencer walks up to Mona and says, thank you for sending the good doctor to my rescue. We got a room here. Mona says, I only called him to help you. Spencer says he gives very good intervention and threatens Mona that if she pushes her, she'll reveal more about Mona's act. Mona's like, who's acting? Like, is that you're talking about now, Spencer? Spencer's like, you won't take away any more of my friends. Mona says, oh, do you have friends anymore? I don't see any of them here. And Spencer then physically attacks Mona, and then Red rushes in and helps pull her off. Wes and Aria move things around to cover the stain, and Wes slips that he was going to sleep in his car tonight. Aria then invites him to stay at her place. Aria gets a call from Ceces. Ceces says, don't ask. I went to the bar to pick up the food and they towed my car. And we see that she is actually sitting in her car and calling Aria. She's like, I'll pay you guys for the trouble. Like, no worry. Like, sorry for bailing on you. You can, like, pack up for the night. And Aria says, no problem, hangs up. And Aria gets Wes to stay at her place. Hannah and Caleb are at the church waiting on Ted and Jamie discussing working on the bell tower renovations. Hannah wonders if it was too much for one day, and Caleb's like, it's okay. They have a nice moment where Caleb says how lucky he is and how great Hannah is, and they kiss. Emily comes in and breaks up the kiss nicely and says, Jamie got the job. Let's go back to... Oh, yeah, Ashley comes in. I read ahead. And breaks up the kiss nicely and says, Jamie got the job. Let's go back to our place for pizza. As they leave, Hannah drops a $5 bill that we see like dice is drawn on it into the donation bin for the church. Jason and Emily leave the penthouse in the elevator. It shakes and stops, and Emily hits the emergency button. Jason and Emily both have no service for their phones. Wren and Spencer are in the car. Spencer's phone rings, and Wren answers to Melissa's call. Melissa wonders why he is answering the phone, and Wren says, we went out to eat, and her stomach is feeling bad, but we'll be back soon. Wes is at Aria's house. He has to borrow a book because he can't fall asleep without reading, and Aria goes, OMG, me too. They bond over books, and Wes moves in, and they kiss. Aria suddenly pulls away and is like, we can't do this. And he says, no, we can't, and says, good night, and runs away. Jason opens up the elevator doors and says they can jump to the next floor. Aria asks if he's done this before, and he says, hell no.
Emily.
Jesus Christ. I'm not reading my notes. It literally says Emily here. Emily goes to jump as the elevator moves, and Jason asks if someone is up there. Emily makes the jump, but suddenly the elevator moves, and Jason falls back, and the elevator plummets to the ground. Jamie pays for the pizza and says thanks to Hannah for helping him stick around. She notices that he pays with a $5 bill that she put in the donation box. She then gets an SOS text from Emily, and we cut to see all the friends get the SOS text. At the hospital, Emily stands next to Jason's bedside as he's awake. She hands him water from the side table. She says, you're lucky that he survived. Jason says, this time I think you and Spencer were right about the NAT club. Someone wants me gone, and I don't have the photo anymore. It's not in any of my pockets or anything. He asks Emily to go get him more water, and she walks out and runs into Aria and Hannah and discusses this discovery of Wilden. Spencer comes in asking where Jason is, and the friends all awkwardly welcome her back. Doctor asks them where their friend is as he's no longer in his hospital bed, and the friends rush back to find Jason gone. A gloved hand cuts out a photo of Emily and puts her head on a whiskey bottle. We then see that there's three other bottles with the girls' heads on them. They put an empty bottle in the middle and spin it, and another gloved hand stops it on Spencer, and then they pour from that bottle into two empty glasses and cheers them. The end.
Okay. So, Arias gives Spencer a riddle if she needs to use that side of her brain again. A+ friendship.
Yeah, that is knowing your friend. It's just like she needs to like actually be doing something because right now she is doing something and it's all negative.
It's all bad. And she was doing something and now we find out. She was showing, she was going to show, what's his name, her cupcakes.
Oh, right. Andrew.
Mona is literally coming for Spencer and Spencer alone.
Right. She is targeting Spencer. Well, I mean, she was targeting Emily before, so it's now on to someone new. And now it's battle of wits. And I'm sure from Mona's angle as top tier menace, like this is a great time. This is the perfect person to like mess with.
Definitely.
Because Spencer is absolutely losing it. And you're hitting it where Spencer hurts.
Exactly.
With, her spot on the decathlon team, her boyfriend, and her new adopted brother, but she doesn't really know about that.
And her designer sunglasses. I'm so confused.
Oh, right.
How did A do that? How did A do half the things A does? It's really my
but I mean,
question.
you just easy enough. You take a key and then you put it into the sunglasses and put the sunglasses back in the locker.
Get into her locker. Then they had to carve that into it and then put it back. Yeah. Without getting caught. Okay.
I feel like that is lower on the totem pole of things I find not believable.
I just but the whole time Mona was in sight. So who did it? Toby? Toby would have stood out standing in the high school.
But she could have gone during like off period or something.
I guess so. Why does Spencer decide that strip learning is the way to win her spot back on the team?
I love it.
It's a good move.
She's just trying to mess with people as much as possible.
Yeah, and it works.
And she's like, I'm being dark right now. And dark Spencer? Like, plays a little fast and loose.
I liked it.
Yeah. And Andrew's certainly sweating.
Yeah. Was it effective? Yes.
I also like that the like nerd guy that they got for this is like possibly the biggest dude on the
buffest dude in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy who plays Andrew is huge.
He makes the guy who plays Archie in Riverdale, like especially those early seasons, look small.
Yep. He dwarfs everybody on this. I mean, you know, it's
he could take Ezra in a fight.
Right, exactly. The
Henry
Cavill of the show. The buff nerd.
There you go. Did you know he has brothers? The internet recently found out that Henry Cavill has brothers, and they're like, "There's more."
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because like, sure,
yeah,
like,
why not?
You know, why not? I don't know why it is like what.
Yeah, but everyone is like, "Oh my god!"
I'm sure they're just like normal.
Yeah, they're probably like very normal people. If they aren't, let us know if you know anything about the Cavill family.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Yeah, send us a little message. You know, let us know. Hannah playing dad and son matchmaker. Is this a bad move?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did they comb Caleb's hair?
It's really bad when they slick back Caleb's hair. He looks, like I said, and especially when he's got the collared shirt like buttoned up all the way to the top, and he's got his hair slicked back. It definitely looks like he's being like
mommy's little boy.
For like Sunday school. But it's definitely going to blow up in Hannah's face. It already is. Hannah's going to start going, hey, I think your dad actually stole money.
Logistically, how would Jamie have stole that money if he was with Pastor Ted?
I have no idea.
Fair
I
enough.
have no idea what would happen. But I mean, I guess he's like, hey, Ted's going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go to the donation box and look around. I don't know. Yeah, this has all the telltale signs of this is just going to blow up in Hannah's face. You know, it can't possibly go right.
I agree. Well, let's return to my favorite scene ever, potentially, in the show. Spencer attacking Mona.
So good.
Top tier. I've never been more excited to watch a scene in my life, honestly.
It's really good.
There's a couple reveals later that I'm like, I'm excited to watch you, but like this, A+.
Yeah, absolutely. Spencer finally being pushed too far that Spencer enacts physical violence. We love it.
Yeah, and yells die.
Yeah, I forgot she yells die.
Pretty sure she yells die.
And just literally like goes to beat the shit out of Mona. It's like, fine, I could take you in a fight.
Yeah. And
I played field hockey. Yeah. She plays field hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do, Mona?
Torment me. Also, Mona tormented them.
Yes.
Like legitimately. And no one at that school is like watching for the signs that she might be doing it again.
Right. No.
I'm baffled.
Yeah.
I'm
no one has any of the friends' backs.
Then again, when have adults ever done anything right?
Yeah.
Really, people just kind of suck.
No, and that is, I mean, our biggest takeaway from the show, really.
And
adults are not there to help you. They're there to impede you.
Unfortunately.
Except for maybe Ashley.
Yeah. She's doing her best.
Yeah, she's just not clued in.
Yeah, but keep your techno boy toy away or else I'll tell the police what your mom keeps in lasagna box. Out of context, it's a 10 out of 10.
So good.
I remember before the show started, I think I told you that A clue and you just like stared at me and I was like,
Yeah, it's like,
are you ready for it?
But yeah, no, if there's anybody, like, of course Mona deserves to get her ass beat.
The Jason De Laurentiis bottles on the doorstep, ring doorbell would have prevented that. Or any sort of like video camera. You couldn't like, have this show now.
But if any
rich people
because you would see
you'd see who it was.
Well, I feel like in that scene
they'd cover it.
Exactly. You would just see someone in a hoodie. No, you'd see someone in a hoodie and an Allison mask come up and cover it.
That's even creepier though. Then you'd have something to give to the police. You'd be like, look, there's footage.
Listen.
We don't know what the new show is like.
2022 or 2023, your next season. We got ideas.
But so,
never written a script in my life. We got ideas.
I wrote one in 4th grade. We wrote a play, and I was a princess in a tower.
Ooh, I love it.
That's all I remember about it. And we had to act them out. We wrote plays, and then we had to act them out, and we made the tower out of like cardboard.
That's really fun.
I mean, it was like we weren't in a tower, but yeah, it was very cool.
But with the bottles.
Who done it?
Yeah, that's fucking rude.
Who has that much time?
The A team.
Yeah,
one of the A teams.
Toby needs to get a better job.
I could see, or if we're also including Ceces on this. Ceces got fucking time to do this. That's a Ceces move.
Oh, total Ceces move.
Yeah. TCM. Move out of the way, Turner Classic. And I could see Ceces doing this. Like they're divide and conquer right now. Like Mona. Yeah, exactly. Mona's like, okay, I'm going after like Spencer right now. And Cece's like, okay, I'll take Jason.
You've never seen Ceces and Mona interact though.
I know.
Okay. But you think they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just cut, they're not gonna, they're not hanging out together. We don't know enough about Ceces at the moment.
Ceces photo shoot, Aria and Wes.
Yeah. That was a setup to try and get them together so they get secrets on them.
Yeah, so that they would like kiss or something. But they did kiss, just not there.
Right, exactly. Blowing up Ceces' plant. So this is see, this would all connect if they're part of the same team. This all connects back to theories. My theories of like that Mona and them are like they're working together. Well, today we're getting into communism.
No.
Now Marx and Engels. But
we don't have time for that.
No.
Okay. Why is Ceces lying?
Yeah, because why is she lying about Wilden?
To Aria, well, yeah, that too.
So,
but to Aria and Wes.
Because Aria and Wes, because it was a setup.
She wanted them to go.
So then she would be like, Aria, why are you kissing like?
You got the little
Fitz's
and
brother?
the big Fitz.
Right. I can't write the A text. That's someone else has got to do that.
One Fitz wasn't enough.
There you go. Looks like you're moving on to the junior mint. I don't know. No.
I wish you had been someone's high school bully. Because they would have just been.
It wouldn't have happened. I would have just gotten my ass beat. Couldn't even properly torment someone.
They would have been like, God damn it, Brenton forgot to block his number again. Called me a junior mint. I don't know if that's an insult or if he's hungry.
So in that case, doing that, if we're gonna connect back that Wilden is connected to all this, which he is, it seems, then Ceces is privately trying to destroy him.
Okay.
Or is getting him to do things through blackmail.
Okay. I like this. I like this.
Like a contractor that way. I think two possibilities for Wilden. It is seeming more clear now that because of whatever happened with Allison and them then, that he is now being blackmailed to do something. Where instead my original theory was because I saw him with Jenna that there was some like Jenna control happening. Could still be a possibility.
Why was Ceces also wearing that crusty yellow top on the night Allison went missing? She was wearing the same shirt.
The same shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there was a mandate handed down by Rosewood for all blondes.
Why wasn't Hannah wearing it?
Oh, right. Because Allison's mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You're not cool enough to wear this yellow top.
You're so mean. You could rate Allison, I guess. You just
that wasn't very good, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the elevator. What the fuck happened?
I don't know how Jason survived that. Like,
I remember watching this like when it came on, and I was like, oh, he dead. And then I was like, they immediately showed me he wasn't dead. And then he was gone, and I was like, oh, he's dead now.
Seriously. Yeah, someone's 100% trying to kill him. They're fucking right. I just think it's the A-team.
So do you think someone came and took him, or do you think he left?
Oh, I think he left.
And he got spooked?
Yes. I think he's like, I need to get the fuck out of here, and because they're going to come and kill me in my bed.
Who took the photo?
Who took the photo from him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, whoever cut the fucking like line to the elevator.
I don't think that's how elevators work anymore.
Or just like they just dropped the security latch.
I thought like elevators now had to like basically
catch.
Yeah. I don't know though.
I mean, suspense and disbelief. Yeah. Toby maybe, because we don't see Toby around.
You think Toby would let Jason fall that far and die?
Yeah. Or
you think Toby's a killer? Just like Emily?
The scared killer.
Brenton's been watching the Twilight franchise for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's made it to Eclipse.
Yeah, awful. Waste of time.
Can't wait to show you Breaking Dawn.
It's like a waste of time in a very boring way. It's not like absolutely awful and like there's nothing like just like flat out bad about it. It's just like, oh, this is just like boring. Why do we gotta do this? But back to Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the A-team going after him. I think they're definitely right that it is targeting NAT people. And I think that is coming from A-team. And then the other A-team being Jenna and them is the ones being targeted that are fighting back.
Got it. But I
don't think Jason's part of them. I think Jason's just kind of on his own. And also, is Jason getting too close to like finding out information by pulling things like that?
That's what I was wondering, if because like your thoughts on him, like he's suspicious of Mona.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's on to Mona, which we learn in this episode. Prior to this, you're kind of like, is he working with Mona? Is he not? And now you're like, okay, he's suspicious of Mona. He's keeping his enemies close.
Mm-hmm. Jason, probably the best in terms of the most exonerated character, a side character really, of like, oh, okay, he's like caught up in something.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the info we have right now.
Well, that's my final question for you on this episode.
Okay.
Do you want to take us on a journey to a corner?
First, we have another new wrinkle. They just keep adding more. I want to see. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yep. Cool. They just keep adding more to this timeline.
This is going to become the longest night of your life.
I'm just surprised how much they keep adding in this season. It's just like in the next episode, or at least in terms of us, it's every two. But they're really like working on fleshing it out.
Mm-hmm.
So starting at the top, Allison supposedly visits Jenna at her clinic and threatens her. Allison flies back to the outside of Philly with her favorite character, Duncan, who's very important.
He could have taken Andrew in a fight, maybe.
Maybe.
He's got broad shoulders.
Yeah.
But he is wearing a cardigan. He's supposed to look less. But Andrew wears cardigans.
Yeah. And like glasses. Allison arrives back in Rosebud.
We all know glasses mean you can't fight.
Uh-huh. You nerd. Allison.
That woman with glasses.
Allison arrives back in Rosebud via taxi. Spencer notices luggage tags for Hilton Head. Jenna is picked up by Garrett at the clinic. And Allison gives Emily the snow globe with the key to the oh my God.
The storage unit that has the flash drive in it.
Yeah, I always want to say the security deposit box, and that's not right. Spencer, Emily, and Hannah arrive at Spencer's house for the sleepover. Aria then arrives at the house for the sleepover. Allison then arrives and scares all the friends. Isn't she fun? Allison and Spencer fight inside Spencer's house about Allison telling Melissa about Ian. Toby sees Allison get in a car with a boy. Unconfirmed, but probably Ian, as far as we know. So they can go, and then they leave. Go film the video. Aria wakes up to see Allison missing and finds Spencer arriving back at the barn, who tells Aria that Allison's missing. Allison meets with Ian to film the I Know You Want to Kiss Me video. Ian, Garrett, and Jenna search Allison's room and find the box. Ian sets up a camera and Garrett and him fight over it. They hear someone coming upstairs and Melissa enters, demanding to know where she is. Garrett and Jenna leave Ian and Melissa to talk, run into Allison in the yard. Altercation ensues, and Garrett pretends to kill Allison. Garrett then returns to Allison's backyard and sees Allison and Byron talking. But, you know, Allison was just trying to extort Byron for more money, but he doesn't take it. As he leaves, he sees Melissa outside talking on the phone. Jason stumbles out of his house, messed up, man, and sees Ceces and Melissa talking in the backyard. He looks away and looks back, but they're gone. And then lies, I didn't write down, but gives in to his drunchies and lies on a chase lounge.
Yeah, he just goes night-night.
Mm-hmm. So.
Okay.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Busy ass night.
It was a busy night.
It was. Oh, what a night. But let us step into... Theory Corner. Welcome to Theory Corner, everybody. Brenton's Theory Corner with some slight modifications. 2 A teams. 1 A team. Mona, Toby, Lucas as contractor, Ceces, I think. Jason, exonerated from A team, suspicious of A team, not connected with anybody.
Okay.
Being unfairly targeted. Or so I believe. I have a lot of faith in Jason. You
have a lot of faith in Jason and Toby, and yes, I find that...
misunderstood men.
You know, I find that remarkable.
Yeah, misunderstood men rarely make history.
Inaccurate.
Opposite.
Do you know how it's like False. How Marie Antoinette, we know all about her. What about her husband that was the actual problem? You know, the person who could have done something about things.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't it interesting how we just know let them eat cake and not why was she the representative? This was a 14-year-old child who was taken away from her home, taken to another country. Forced to be the figurehead for things she had no power over. I could go on and on, but that's not what this is about.
Yeah, I know nothing about Marie Antoinette, so I'm listening to you on that.
No one does.
Fair enough. I didn't watch the movie.
Me neither.
And so they are targeting people to get back at whether it's some sort of vengeance thing for Allie or enacting on these people that were like the creeps and original bullies, because they are the bullied, getting back at these people. And there's kind of an unholy alliance with Ceces, who is connected, but it seems like maybe has reformed ways, or like if it is connected to Allison, then it would be some sort of like fondness and like respect for Allison, like, hey, like I did care for her as like an older sibling, and also, you know, showed her the wrong way,
reverence,
but like I still like did care for this person as like a older sibling in a way. So
okay,
is connected with them to get revenge on these people, and then spurred on the friends to start investigating and pointing them in direction. It's like that would get the NAT club like either caught up in police custody or like start making them like get on the back foot. So then that's when we get the other A team of like Garrett, Ian, or Jenna, and yeah, I think that, and then also connected to like Jenna's things like Noel, to try and kind of like get back at these people and stop them. And also then targeting the friends because it seems like the friends are coming out of them. So they're more on the back foot trying to get away. So where does Wilden get all into this? I had said that like it's really suspicious that, he has been seen with Jenna, and that could still be it. But now I think he could still be trying to like hide evidence or like control the case because he's being blackmailed by the A-team of like Ceces being like, yeah, remember that summer? Like we were underage, or like Allie was underage. Isn't that like creepy? Like you freak. And using that as leverage on Wilden to like say go after the friends and like terrorize them in that way. So I don't think his is as much of a conscious or as much of a willing acceptance to do things, more of like past coming back to bite him on the ass sort of thing. And yeah, they're the ones holding on to the items from Allie's grave. And yeah, and if it is Allison in the red or Jenna in the red coat, then there was maybe some sort of working relationship where they were under Jenna beforehand and have now, when like Mona went to Radley and stuff and
there's
getting
been a
out.
Schism.
Exactly. They're like, all right, time to fully go mask off. Like they were like operating in the dark. So like I don't think Jenna still doesn't know about like Toby being on their side. So like operating in the dark that way. And so while I think Toby's doing things for right reasons, I do think that he could have been approached a long time ago. There's a possibility that Toby was given a good pitch on like getting back at these people. So potentially from Allison herself. So, or, better yet, he's just doing it to protect Spencer. Not the move I would choose, but seems very in line with the show.
Yeah, and you don't want to let that dream die, do you?
No. One thing that I forgot to bring up earlier, that we did finally get confirmation that it was Allison's body. What and fucking anticlimactic way to like reveal that like thing. It's just like, oh, it's just kind of like resolved and like wrapped up.
Yeah, they're just gonna reintern her.
But we're all done with that. Emily's more worried, less about digging her up, and more worried that she killed her. So, not that I didn't dislike that part, but.
Final thoughts on your theories?
I think that is it for Theory Corner this week.
Wow, look at you! You've got clean theories.
It's just little addendums this week, but
I will note, there are some characters we haven't seen. There's a couple characters off screen, and we're only hanging out with their family members and stuff. No theories on that? No. Oh,
like Melissa and that? I think Melissa is part of NAT Club.
Okay.
That team. Paige, I don't think so as much. Again, and Shauna. I could see Paige enlisting Shauna to like check up on people, but not connected to a wider thing of just trying to keep an eye on like, hey, she was maybe investigating the A team and trying to investigating A long before her and Caleb were buddy on it. You know what I mean? Of like, like I'm kind of worried about these people because like I know about A and I almost got killed. So like maybe you can help me out by keeping an eye on some of these.
Fair enough.
So, anybody else relative wise that we're not seeing? I don't think so.
Fitz?
Oh, he's off in Delaware.
It's only a 4-hour drive. I looked it up.
Right. I mean, Aria already drove there.
To Delaware?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she went to the school where Maggie teaches. That's fair. I mean, that was a long drive for Maggie to just show up unannounced.
Right?
That was a little sketch.
Yeah, what'd you do with little Fitz that day?
Where'd you put little Fitz?
I know. Just left him at school, I guess.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, with that, thank you so much. We will bid you all goodbye.
Well, that's all she wrote.
Yeah. I hope we get more erratic Spencer. Just going balls to the wall, attacking people.
Spencer takes a journey. And she's going to take us on a journey. And then we're going to go on a different journey. And then even later, we'll go on another Spencer journey. And we'll wrap it up with a Spencer journey that makes you really question
what the journey was. And
how we got there.
The friends we made along the way.
Did we make any friends along the way or did we lose
Sounds
them?
like we're making enemies.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I just remembered how gloriously one of the characters dies that you're going to absolutely love way down the road.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but that's in that final stretch, baby. Well, when we're not here talking about this, sometimes I do other things and I post about them on social media. Mostly I've been writing. And I post on TikTok about it. And you can find all of my details in the link tree that Brenton will link. And at some point I'll get my website up and running so you can find more of my details and like writing and stuff like that there. But I haven't done that yet. You know? It just hasn't happened.
Yeah. You've been doing the actual writing.
Yeah. Well, and I did this like crazy little thing this year where like we got married and then you choked on a chicken sandwich and then I was in a wedding and then we had our wedding and then we went on a honeymoon and then I was laid off from my job. Yep. And so, you know, I just did a lot.
You've done quite a bit.
And now I'm going to lie down.
Exactly. But you can find this podcast on YouTube by searching the tag at dead_ends on all your podcast platforms of choice as well, at Dead Ends. And then if you want to follow us on Twitter, that's Dead Ends Podcast. And you can also email us any of your thoughts, feelings, questions, deadendspcast@gmail.com. And that is in the description box. Fill that out as well.
All right.
Well, we're still here. We're going to find out everything.
I don't think we're going to get all the answers you seek.
Perhaps a riddle I shall seek.
No.